So I am a Twitter premium member now, which means I get to type as much as I want to on Twitter. So no more threads. You won't have to click 6, 7 different related thoughts. You can just open a tweet and all my thoughts will be there. And one of my thoughts today, the first thought that I had when I came into the office today was I saw the headline in the Dispatch, also in USA Today, also on Yahoo Online. Who is J.D. Vance? Ohioans have some not so pretty things to say about Trump's VP pick. Oh, I was like, wait a second. Like, of course there are Ohioans who have some not so pretty things to say about J.D. Vance because J.D. Vance is a politician. And to my knowledge, no politician gets 100% of the vote. But I also was like bothered by one fact. Isn't J.D. Vance like an elected senator of the state of Ohio in the United States Senate? Yes, he is. Didn't he get 55% of the vote against Tim Ryan, who was a career politician and well-funded, when J.D. Vance was not as well-funded as Tim Ryan and was a political newcomer? Yes, and yes. So I'm like, somebody in Ohio must like J.D. Vance. But that does not come through in a story, as I said, that I saw in USA Today, Columbus Dispatch, and Yahoo.com, which is why I have deemed it fair to call out as a fool a young lady, oh boy, here come the misogynistic shouts, named Riley Crabtree of the Columbus Dispatch. Now, here's the thing I will say about Riley Crabtree. She's young. She's apparently, according to her LinkedIn page, yes, I can do research, an intern at the Dispatch. So she got handed the short straw of, oh, Vance is the VP choice. Why don't you see what people have said about J.D. Vance? Why don't you get us a cross-section of opinions about J.D. Vance? And so Riley Crabtree, either directed by some idiot above her, and I wouldn't doubt it because Amelia Robinson runs the editorial page at the Columbus Dispatch, or some other editor at the Dispatch, they don't want her to tell you anything good about J.D. Vance because, of course, in their minds, there is nothing good about J.D. Vance. They want Riley Crabtree to be the person who stands in front of a woke assault on J.D. Vance. And so Riley Crabtree produced it. She'll probably get kudos from her bosses at the Dispatch. What she will get from me is the brutal truth that she is part of a movement that is digging its own grave for its profession. And on those graves, I will dance a celebration when they go under and go bankrupt. It is inevitable because any business, and journalism is a business, that purposefully cannibalizes itself from appealing to 50% of its audience is a business that is doomed to fail. The Dispatch is failing. USA Today is failing. The Plain Dealer, where I worked for 18 years, is failing. Newspapers are failing all across the country, and I do not have one shred of sympathy for them because they have done it to themselves, and they have doubled down on doing it to themselves. And Riley Crabtree has, like the unhoused Jehovah Bible-carrying, dog-walking, knife-wielding assailant in Milwaukee, done it to herself. So good luck joining a profession that is doomed to failure, Riley Crabtree. You're perfectly suited for it. Can you guess where she went to gather opinions on J.D. Vance? You or I would say, like, okay, what do they say about Vance? This guy's a big backer. Bernie Moreno likes him. Donald Trump likes him. This senator likes him. Mike DeWine's a little cool on him. Blah, 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 blah. No. There's no quote from Trump. There's no quote from Bernie Moreno. There's no quote from Mike DeWine. No quote from Frank LaRose, Matt Dolan, anybody who's like lost to J.D. Vance, Jane Timken, Mike Gibbons, people who ran against him, Josh Mandel. Any quotes from them? No. She went to, you're going to love this. She went to the unfair and unbalanced, to make a pun on the Brett Baer tagline on Special Report. She went to the unfair and unbalanced Columbus Dispatch editorial pages to get a cross-section of opinion about J.D. Vance. Oh, that's a great idea if you want to make sure that you expose yourself only to people who hate J.D. Vance. And that is what she found. She got a Dayton professor who says that J.D. Vance might cost Donald Trump votes. Yeah, he might. You don't know. You don't have any way of knowing. He hasn't even given his convention speech yet. Maybe he'll knock it out of the park tonight and people will love JD Vance. Maybe the veterans, 800,000 in Pennsylvania, hundreds of thousands of others across the United States will actually like a guy being a heartbeat away from the presidency who served in the U.S. Marine Corps. But you know already, Mr. Dayton professor, that JD Vance might cost Donald Trump votes. Way to go out on a limb, champ. And then she quotes Jonathan Pachukowski. I can't even say his name. His name's not important because he was a former legislative director to U.S. Senator Rob Portman. You couldn't get Rob Portman on the phone. At least he was a senator. Rob Portman, who is as unlike J.D. Vance as any Republican senator could be. You're shocked, Riley Crabtree, that a guy who likes Rob Portman and works with Rob Portman would not be the biggest J.D. Vance fan in the world? Maybe you lack the subtle nuances of understanding that there are different political viewpoints within certain parties, but I don't lack that. And so I see right through your transparent attempt to smear J.D. Vance. And she goes on with a couple other woke think tank nut jobs who say exactly what she wants them to say. And then she gets to the real authorities. The real authorities are the people who write letters to the editor at the Columbus Dispatch. Those are your average, ordinary citizens out there, like Margot Bartlett of Delaware. And she says, J.D. Vance's definition of stable families is ominous. Ominous, Margot. A happily married home with two parents who love their children and don't let people cut their genitals off? Doesn't seem ominous to me, only to you. Joe Tilley of Columbus. He's hoping that Trump picked J.D. Vance. So I guess he confounds Riley Crabtree's view because he says, then Ohio could get rid of the lying, bootlicking, butt-kissing, weak-willed, integrity-lacking, sickening, obsequious sycophant. Hey, Joe, show me your military career, please. Show me the success you've had in business. William Cotton of Blacklick gets in on the beatdown. So does Toba Feldman of Columbus. You have to be a moron, Riley Crabtree, to think that the editorial pages of the Dispatch, where conservative opinions are purposefully not allowed, as a source of where you will find a representative view of J.D. Vance. He wound up in the Senate somehow.